So, good afternoon, everyone. Today, I am going to explain you all about DSCP protocol and what does it do. Okay, DSCP is a dynamic host configuration protocol. It is used to automatically assign IP addresses to the devices. Okay, DHCP uses uh, application layer protocol, and it is a connectionless protocol. It uses the connectionless UDP port number 67 and UDP port number 67 and 68, 67 for client and 68 for server, 67 for client and 68 for server. uh, mm, the work of DSCP is to automatically assign IP addresses to the devices connected to him by a DSCP server. So if a network wants to get an IP addresses, a DSCP server must be configured there to give the temporary assignments of IP addresses to the devices. So this is how the process begins, where DSCP clients get IP addresses through DSCP server, and there should be only one DSCP server for assigning IP addresses to the devices. If there are two or more servers, if there are two servers in a network to assign DSCP IP addresses, there will they will the client will use it the client will uses local DSCP. Client has a choice that if he wants to access IP address from which server. So it depends on the client from which he wants to access from his local DSCP or not, or previously from which server he get the IP addresses. So it depends on the client. Another thing to note out is that when there are two DSCP networks, so in the situation where the two networks are on different subnets. So if I explain you in more detail that when the client's machine on a different subnet, and a server machine is on a different subnet, they are running a 10 class IP address, and another one is running 20 class IP addresses. So in this situation, you need a DSCP relay agent. Another thing comes in DSCP. DSCP relay agent act as an intermediate devices on router, which provides the IP addresses to the clients via the server. So it does not it does unicast message to the server and send back the IP addresses to the clients devices. So this is how we get the IP addresses, and this is done through a DORA process: discover, offer, discover, offer, and uh, discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. So first, the client message sends a discover message that if client server so first the client machine sends a discover message that I want an IP address. So who is the server? Okay, so a server is server offers the IP addresses with a broadcast message. Okay, first of all, sorry, I want to correct. Discover message is being sent by the client. It does broadcast to all that who is the server. I want to know. I want to get an IP address. So it does broadcast the message. After that, the server offers the message, and the request is being forwarded by the client side that give me IP addresses, and the acknowledgement is happened. Okay, so this is this is this is the DORA process which works behind the DSCP, and how a client machine get an IP addresses. And there is also a second topic. There is also one thing that comes, DSCP lease. Okay, it is very important to understand DSCP lease, and it is very important to understand DSCP lease DHCP lease is the time that is being taken to assign IP addresses to the DHCP clients. Uh, if there is a minimum time is the 8 hours lease time for the IP addresses, and within a 4 hour, if you don't renew the IP addresses, the IP will go back to the server. So if a client turn off their machine and turn off their machine for a while, turn off their machine, and if he came back within 4 hour times, so within the within the 50% and 50% of the time, so 8 hours is the lease, 8 hours is the lease time. And if he came back in the 4 hours, he will get the same IP addresses on which previously he was working. But if he came after the 4 hours, he will get another IP address. So this is a concept of DHCP lease time, because the lease time is decided by the server while configuring DHCP server, and manually controlled by them. So the IP addresses goes back to the DHCP server. So IP addresses goes back to the DHCP server and again to their server pool. So again you will get a new IP address from the DHCP server, and all the DORA process will go again. So these are the things, and you need to know about DHCP. And one more thing I want to mention here is that DHCP boot P. Okay, so before DHCP was available, we used to use boot P. Boot P works like nowadays. Boot P works under the DHCP only, and boot P was responsible for assigning IP only. And but today, if you don't use boot P, you cannot boot your systems from network. So it is very important to enable the boot P, because if boot P is not enabled in your services, you cannot deploy the Windows. You cannot use the Windows deployment service and boot up the systems through network. So it is an important thing to remember boot P. Again, you just need to remember DHCP, what is DHCP, and on which port numbers it does work, and what is DHCP relation, what is time, and what is now DHCP assign IP addresses, subnets, default gateway, DNS. So all the things, it is assigned by DHCP. Thank you for listening me, and I hope you understand what I told you, and see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.